Boom Studios has been killing it lately with independent work, and the just-wrapped We Only Find Them When They're Dead is one of my favorite series from the last year, and it is a prime example of Boom giving powerhouse creators free license for high-concept work. Ewing and Simone series closed this last week with its finale issue number 15, and it has been the best sci-fi comic read that I have had in a very long time. So this week I am looking at Ewing and Simone We Only Find Them When They're Dead. I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. First things first, let me ask a favor. Do me a favor and hit subscribe and click the bell. I make about one of these videos a week, and they're all fantastic, so I don't want you to miss even one of them. And hey, if you enjoy this, please do me a favor, share it with your friends. We Only Find Them When They're Dead's incredibly evocative title refers to the beings that start appearing at the edge of known space that are called gods. The gods, as the story goes, are always beautiful, and the gods are always dead. George Malik is the captain of an autopsy and salvage ship, Vihan 2, in the year 2367. George is a generational salvager, and what they salvage is god flesh. The entire economy of humankind in the galaxy centers at this point on the harvesting and use of materials from these dead gods. The central mystery of the series is where the living gods come from and what they are, because nobody's ever seen one alive. George and his crew resolve to find out. Curiosity has gotten the better of him after years and years. The series has a number of time jumps around it, and in a very important flashback 30 years prior, George's whole family had been killed in the Vihan 1. Essentially what they were trying to do was escape with black market god flesh, and they had used his brother Terry as essentially a hostage because his lover, Paula, was an escort, or law enforcement, basically. As a result, his family was killed. Paula holds a grudge against George thereafter. So back in 2367, George and his new crew, including Jason Hauer, his lover, put their plan into motion. They break formation from the salvage ships flying into deep space in the expanse between galaxies when Paula, who was that same law enforcement officer from 30 years prior, follows them into warp. They do end up finding a live god, which they awaken, and it screams. But Paula's determination to kill George, and apparently the rest of the crew with them, results in the accidental death of some of the crew, and then of the god itself, and later of Paula. As George tries to escape in her ship, more gods appear in a corridor of light. And this is where the story takes a hard left turn. 9 years later, George Malik's body, his deified giant god body, appears, dead as expected at the autopsy point. This event fundamentally transforms human society across the galaxy. The realization of who Malik is, and the mystery as to how he was deified, means the surviving Jason Hauer becomes a figurehead in the new religion around Malik. And yes, that religion grows and incredibly powerful. They build a cathedral into the dude's chest. They make him into a space station, which that becomes very important later. Moreover, the entire balance of power from the inner worlds to people at the edge of space is now shifted, and it results in a civil war. Some of my favorite sci-fi works, Foundation series, Herbert's Dune series, those take place over hundreds, if not thousands of years. This is confined a little bit more, but it's very expansive in terms of time. Over decades and longer, it follows this new religion vying with old powers for control. And eventually, an AI called Terry 9 is built from some crystal harvested from George Malik's body that includes his memories. What they've essentially done is cloned, in AI form, George's mind to try and solve the mystery of what made him into a god. Ewing's handling of the finale was top-notch, in my opinion, but it did leave me with more lingering questions than it did real answers as to that grand mystery of the series. Is that grand mystery of the series? Where are the gods from? Why are they there? It's not solved directly, but it becomes clear that that really isn't the point. The mark of great science fiction is always the use of the fantastic, rooted in scientific wonder, to comment on the mundane. And that's all here. Life, death, religion, time, cosmic gods, and the nature of being, what it means to exist and be conscious, are all dealt with in this incredible series. With vibrant art, incredibly brilliant color work, and electric contrast from Simone This might be one of my favorite series of the last few years, and I want to urge you to pick it up in trade if you haven't picked it up in floppies already. Thanks everybody for watching. Go out, check out We Only Find Them When They're Dead, which is actually harder to say abbreviated than it is to say the whole dang word. WOFTWTD, we only find them when they're dead. Way easier. That's weird. Anyway, the series is weird. Thanks for watching. This has been the Doomcast. We'll see you next week.